Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Tanusree and I make videos on fashion, lifestyle and much more. So if you're new to this channel, please do not forget to subscribe. So I'm back with yet another self-help video and I hope this helps you in some way or the other. So like the last video which was all about decision making, so this video is about critical thinking development, and this is a very crucial aspect of all our lives. So critical thinking itself is a huge domain and it is impossible for someone to cover the entire facts and necessities regarding this subject in a single video itself. So in future, if it's needed, if it's necessary, then I'll be making a series regarding this critical thinking abilities or development of critical thinking abilities. But for this timing, I'm making this video and I'll try to put as much as information possible in the single video itself. So critical thinking is the ability to analyze or evaluate any situation to form a decision or judgment. Very honestly, our schools and colleges never taught us the importance of how much this is needed to make any informed decision or judgment, so that makes our lives kind of easier. But unfortunately, it hasn't been that case. So we all have been very dependent on videos like this, or we have tried reading books or whatsoever medium which you might have come across to develop the skill, because it's very important. And in a situation where we are living in, the kind of livelihood we are in, the lifestyle we are following, so this ability is like something which you really need to harness each and every day. And honestly speaking, I'm someone who is constantly like thinking, trying to develop this as a very good lifestyle skill, because I know how much I lack on it. I just wanted to share some hacks or share some tips with you which I follow daily and which has helped a lot and immensely to improve my life over the course of years. So this entire video is divided into small chapters which will kind of help you to understand the concept of critical thinking and how to develop it. And to begin with, I would like to talk about mental barriers, which is very important when you are actually trying to develop this skill. So mental barrier is something which we in general humans have, and in terms of any psychology or any type of books which you are reading with respect to mind, how our minds work, you'll come across this term known as mental barrier. And this is something which kind of hinders our growth, hinders our judgment abilities. In order to develop this critical thinking as a skill, you really need to overcome mental barrier. So mental barrier can be due to many reasons. Mental fog can be due to many reasons, and for that you really need to identify what is causing that barrier. If you can't identify it yourself, talk to your family, talk to your friends, talk to a professional if it's needed. But identifying mental barrier is very important, and having a clear conscience is very important if you want to develop this critical thinking habit, because this skill won't really develop in a day or a two. It's a practice, it's a constant practice. Now moving on to the next point, and this is like a daily practice which you really need to do. So we all make some decisions and judgments based on assumptions. Try asking questions on assumptions. If you feel that you have heard something or there's a situation, and it's like a human tendency to assume things. I'm like, okay, so this has happened, and maybe this has happened because of this, or because of this, or because of this, and you have infinite number of possibilities why that incident has occurred, instead of actually thinking or actually asking questions this has happened, so can you just give me brief idea like how it happened and what has happened exactly for that incident to happen. You really need to tell this to yourself, that if I really want to develop my thinking abilities, the second step I should be doing is to not jump to any conclusion, any sort of assumption, and as much as possible. I know there are certain things which are kind of not non-tangible things basically happening to us, and we are like, why it has happened, and this has happened because this. Don't ever do that, because what happens when you try to analyze a situation, and there are a lot of overthinking which is happening, and there are a lot of assumptions which is happening, it will never lead you to a clear outcome. It will you slow down your growth. It will never help you moving towards the next step. And to move towards the next step, to move towards the solution part of your life or solution part of any situation, you need to stop assuming. You need to ask questions based on assumptions. So once you start doing that, you are kind of way ahead of many people who are not actually harnessing that practice, and you're kind of already in a journey of improving your critical thinking abilities. And that leads me to the next point, which is asking more questions. I know we all feel sometimes somehow so intimidated by so many things, and there's no reason to feel, I mean, that way. I mean, feeling intimidated is a very negative emotion, and you should never feel that when it comes to asking questions. So suppose you are in a suppose you are in a class, or you're in a meeting, or you are, having a conversation with your parents or partner or friend or whoever it is, and there are a lot of things which they are saying, they are putting it on the table, and certain things are aligning with you, certain things you are, I mean, not aligning with you. You are just listening to some of the conversation, understanding some of it, and making a judgment. I won't say taking a decision, but making a judgment based on what you are perceiving. And once you stop doing that, once you stop in the middle of that conversation, in the middle of that teaching, or in the middle of that meeting, and you politely ask, like, this is something which you are telling, but this is something which what I am understanding, and can you just clarify, more about it, or can you just, explain more about it, because this is what my understanding is. So I might be, I mean, correct, I might be wrong, and there's no harming in doing that, because that not only will help you in understanding the subject better, because whatever subject it is, even if you're having a conversation with your partner, the subject of understanding, or the subject of compatibility is there. And if you're in a class, whatever class you are taking, so there's no harm in asking questions when, in whatever field you are, in whatever situation you are. It really helps a lot. It really clears out your doubts. It really helps you in thinking some other perspective which you were kind of not aware of, and then it really helps you to understand where the other person, the situation, the topic is coming from, and it kind of helps you to align in that particular situation which you are currently in. And it helps you with your assumptions, it helps you to think, to understand things better. So never forget to ask questions. It will help you a lot, and it's a game changer thing. That leads me to the next part, which is to self evaluate or evaluate your mental state. As I mentioned in the first step, that there are several mental barriers. So mental barrier is something which is the fundamental of critical thinking building abilities, and once you kind of overcome that, you have to understand where your mental state is, how you're feeling, how you're thinking. You really need to, understand, like, what you're feeling, how you're feeling, why you're feeling that way. And you really need to accept and acknowledge, because there's, you can't really lie to yourself for a long time. If you keep on lying to yourself, the only person you are, putting in trouble is yourself, and I think that would be the last thing to do. So never do that. So be very honest with yourself. If not anybody, please try to be as honest as possible to yourself. It will help you a lot. Then maybe you can figure things out, that these are the things which are causing some kind of an issue with my thinking, my feeling abilities. If you are an overthinker, then you need to sort things out with yourself. And that leads me to the next point, which is very, very important, is to feed your mind. Nowadays, even when you wake up from sleep, or suppose you have come back from college or work, and the only thing which we do is scroll through our phone. So as important as it is to have a healthy diet, to have a healthy body, it is very important to have healthy thoughts and feed your mind on healthy habits, so that you have a, good thinking ability, and you have a good mind, which will help you to have a good thinking, judgment, decision making ability. So what you're feeding your mind is absolutely extremely important. So if you're feeding on criticism, if you are feeding on negativity, if you're feeding on gossips, if you're feeding on drama, so much toxicity, your mind will exactly become like that. And forget critical thinking abilities, you won't be even able to make any constructive decision or judgment. So feeding your mind is very important. Try reading on good books, try out positive affirmations in the morning, try solving maths puzzles. If you like maths, try solving anything which can actually challenge your mind. And neuron connection developing is very important in order to have a very good critical thinking ability. So in order to develop the neural working system, you have to feed your mind on a lot of things, on a lot of logical things, on a lot of analytical things, and only then you'll be able to overcome a lot of biases, overcome a lot of barriers, to move ahead towards your, to move ahead in your critical thinking journey. And this leads me to the last part of the video, which is to accept criticism. Criticism is something which I know we take very personally, we take it on our ego, but if you have ego, then it stops a lot of your personal growth journey. Ego, it kind of, actually creates a lot of trouble when you're trying to move, or you're trying to evolve personally. in terms of your personal growth. And I know it's very easy to say. I also have sometimes a lot of ego in a lot of different situations, but overcoming is something which you really need to work on. And if you overcome that, then only you will be able to have that acknowledging criticism thing. So criticism is like it can be of different kinds, and the only thing you really need to look forward is to accept constructive criticism. Don't accept anything and everything what people are saying, and don't also be defensive of what people are saying. For some reason your opinion doesn't align with my opinion, and you tend to dismiss my opinion, which is not true, which is not okay. You really need to go back and have several facts in order to tell why my opinion is not suitable for you. Then only I or whoever this person is will actually try and have a midway to understand your points. And this actually comes from a theory which is known as the confirmation bias, which is another topic for another day. Confirmation bias actually creates a lot of problem when it comes for the criticism of our thoughts, when it comes with respect to the criticism of how we are thinking, of how we are making a decision or any judgment. So you really need to be very very careful that you are not a part of that confirmation bias theory. So I hope you like this video, and this was really fun to shoot. I am having so much fun in order to help you people with your self growth journey, because I am also struggling, I am growing daily, and I would like you all to be a part of it, and whatever things I'm doing, whatever measures I'm taking to grow, and I really would love to share with you people. So I would be back with another self-help video really soon on my channel, so stay tuned. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do not forget to subscribe, hit that bell icon so that whenever I upload a video you get notified. Till then, take care and bye.